Okay, this is going to be fun because my boy, man, he has been touting, man, 4-0. And I'll say this to you, man. I did start the show out, and I said this to Tone before we even went on the air. You're right. 4-0 season is going. We should pack it in. Okay. Thanks, LJ. Appreciate it. Good night. I said this, Philly. Appreciate you coming aboard. Let's bring our friend in. I came away with this, brother. So Tone goes like this to me, man, prior to starting the show up. I went like this. I go, he goes, what was your takeaway from that? I go, my takeaway is what's Dallas crowing about when Seattle beat the doorknobs off them last night also? I mean, if I look at Dallas now, Philly and I go like this. They talked about killing the two New York teams, one without Aaron Rodgers and the other one. I just saw Seattle kick the shit out of them. I'm like this. Dallas is a finesse team. Arizona ran their asses over, man.
Right.
Give us your thoughts so far in the 4-0 start.
4-0 is it's a great start. I don't think the Eagles have played their best football yet. Obviously, we've been a little sloppy. We still have things coming together, but you're finding ways to win. You're pulling these games out at the end, and that's all you can ask for this early in the season. I think is you want to pile these wins up. You want to stack them up. Nobody has won a Super Bowl in September. Nobody has won a Super Bowl in October. You want to be playing your best football at the end of the year. We're getting a chance to win these games, pull them out, win tight games. We're hopefully, going to see where we need to go out, make a move before the trade deadline, have plenty of time to do that. I think we're all right. I think we're in a good position, to be quite honest with you. I think we're actually in a really good position.
How about this? If you're Sirianni, Sean Desai, and you're Howie Roseman, do you put Nakobe Dean in the starting lineup versus the Rams, or do you go with the hot hand?
No, I got to stick with Morrow. I'm sticking with Morrow. I mean, the guy has been really, really good. Why would I take him out? No, I can't. Listen. I'm not saying that Nakobe Dean doesn't have a future being a starter on the Eagles. I'm not saying that, but for this year, for right now, no, I'm sticking with Morrow. I got to.
I would say this to you about Morrow, what he's done along with Zach Cunningham. And I agree with you. I think what they've done, they've kept their name relevant in the conversation, but I think this is a week-to-week thing. I think if we find out that these guys continue, because, covering tight ends is still an issue for these guys, okay? They did a nice job last week. Now, to me, I think one of the reasons why Morrow had sacks is because they blitzed him because they knew he couldn't cover coming out of the backfield. These guys, so they put pressure. You know what they may have found? They may have found a job for him by being a blitzing middle linebacker.
Yeah, well, but you know how it goes. If you just put him in and that means you're blitzing, teams will eventually pick up on it. So you have to mix it up. I also think Nakobe Dean is a good blitzer. I think really what I think still is I think that the problems that we have seen on defense is not a talent problem. It's a it's a scheme problem. It's the way that they use these guys. I look at Morrow and Cunningham, and I think they're good downhill linebackers. I think these guys, when they can be aggressive and they can attack, I think they're better than when they're reactionary. And I think what I would like to see is a little bit of an adjustment on the scheme that they're running. I want to see the secondary help out the defensive line because when it's 3rd and 3 and you have guys 9 yards back, it's not hard for them to get a first down. And I really think that's the bigger issue. I think Morrow has been fantastic.
I would say this. I would go here with you too. And here's a prime example of what you're saying. And I brought this up yesterday. There was a part in the game late in that game. I think it was in the 4th quarter. And I brought this up yesterday with Gary Cobb. So you're 3rd and 1. You take the penalty when they don't get the 3rd and 1, right? So what do? The Eagles, as a coaching staff, push him back the extra 5 yards, right?
Right.
Okay. So it's 3rd and 6. It's still a manageable 3rd down completion for you to get the first down. What do they do defensively? They walk the corners back and they give a pitch and catch. I mean, it was you gave them basically a second opportunity. To me, Philly, when I look at the Eagles right now, their coaching staff, if I were to go like this, I think the Eagle defense at 16th right now, they're not that bad. I mean, it's kind of where we thought it was going to be. It's kind of how I thought it would play out. The Eagle offense is 5th. And like you said, the passing game has struggled. You're still 5th. Hey, you're going to take that. But last year you were 2nd and 3rd pretty much the entire year. You're not balanced right now. To me, I think this has got a lot to do with the coaches. I think the coaches
I agree.
are not doing a very good job right now.
I agree. I think that on both offense and defense, I think there are things that they're doing scheme-wise and personnel-wise that don't help this team. I really think you've got to take the talent. I don't know. I mean, can you get any cornerback to play zone 8 yards back? I mean, why do you need Darius Slay and Bradbury? Why do you need to pay them all that money to do it? You know, there was a play where, because they kept running a lot of slants, right? Because they're so far back. But there was one play where Slay actually played up and knocked the ball down. They called a penalty on him, which I didn't think it was I thought it was a weak call.
Horrible officiating in that game, too.
It was really bad. But it was like you should have been doing that from the first quarter. I really think they're not playing to the corner's strengths. I don't think in turn, I don't think that's helping your defensive line. I mean, we don't have a ton of sacks, right? But we got a lot of pressures. I mean, Sweat's got a ton. We've seen what Jalen Carter. Imagine, and actually, it seems like when the quarterback has to hold the ball just a little longer, these guys get home. We forced a fumble versus Minnesota. You had a big sack last week. I just think that the coaching staff, and I'm rambling about this because I just totally agree with you. I think the coaching has been off so far.
Will Dallas Goedert ever be part of this offense? And Philly, how about this? Do you know they've made more of a priority for Kenny Gainwell to be part of the offensive game plan than Dallas Goedert? Who in their right mind game plans? Like, let me just go over here. For a guy I'm paying $16 million to, who's considered a top 10, top 5 tight end, for a guy who's considered one of the top 25 running backs in the NFL, and more towards the 25th, why would you, where do you, I mean, and he's not even the best back on your team.
Well, no, I was losing my mind on Sunday, because I don't understand the love affair with Gainwell. I just don't get it, right? You have it's bad enough that you can't find ways to use Goddard, but like when Swift is out there, and I really want to go back and I want to watch this game again because I haven't had a chance, but I really have a theory that when Swift is on the field, the offense as a whole is a lot better. But when Gainwell's out there, I don't even think the defense worries about him. I don't even think they care. But when Swift's out there, you have to know where he is. You have to at least be kept honest in it. I mean, they had a third and 11, and they ran Gainwell, and he fumbles the ball. It's like, well, if you're going to run it, which I didn't like to call a run, but why would you not have Swift out there? The guy is making plays, man. It's crazy to me. Crazy.
Would you agree that this is who Jalen Hurts is? He's a 250 yards per game passer and a 75-yard rusher, which makes him undefensible when you get those kind of numbers together, because now you're talking about a 350 yards per game guy from scrimmage, depending on how many touchdowns he has. Dude, 350 in dual threat, you're undefensible. Right. In my opinion, they've limited the bottom number. And if you turn him into just a 316 and you limit that other threat, I thought the biggest play in the game he made, Philly, was when it was 3rd and 11. They had him dead to rights. It was an 8-yard sack. He breaks out of it,
Going.
picks up the first down. I mean, the touchdown pass that he threw to AJ at the end of the ball game, that really, it gave you the lead, but it didn't stop Washington. When you break another team's back is when you get 3rd and 11. That's when you're starting to keep teams on their heels. To me, don't you think they're limiting him a little bit more this year, especially in the run game?
I do, and I don't necessarily disagree with it in the aspect of I know you want to keep him healthy, but to your point, and if you watch that play, what I thought was interesting was that when he decided to go, he went and he looked very fast. There are times where he runs and he looks hesitant, and it almost makes him look like he's slow,
like a pre-slide.
Yeah, like almost like he's overthinking it. So I don't mind cutting things back, but I just wish that I don't want there to be hesitancy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be hesitant with it. Like when you go, because when he decided to run on that one scramble play, he looked every bit as fast as he did last year. But there are times where he looks like he's overthinking it and he's worrying about, okay, I got to get down, I got to slide here, and that makes me worry. But I mean, I understand. I mean, the guy's been hurt the last 2 years. You want to keep him fresh. You want him to be healthy. I get it. I think there has to be some point where you do dial it back. But I think it's got to be done in a way where he's comfortable with it.
So it looks like the right guard position, looks like Juergens may not be going this week against Aaron Donald. Yeah, and they run a 40 front. They don't run a nose. So Kelsey's at least over there, but, there's been some issues in the O-line and pressure this year. Hurts has been hit way more than he has in the past. And you've got a guy who's playing really great football again, and Aaron Donald. And I just mentioned it, the Rams are sitting at the 9th spot in defense, total defense, giving up less than 300 yards a game. I mean, when I look at that number, first month of the season, they've played pretty good defense. And you can say whatever you want about 2-2. They got a better win on their record than the Eagles do. They beat Seattle in the opener. So, I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, I can't wait to see that matchup. And I would say this too. Sean McVay versus Sean Desai. I mean, really?
Well, yeah. I mean, McVay's won a Super Bowl, been to another. So I get it, My hope is that they continue to adjust and kind of figure this thing out. I do think, though, Donald may be playing, but you can run the ball on him.
Oh, yes.
Can run on him.
Oh, so, yeah, you can run the ball on the Rams.
So get Swift ready. Tell him to get a good night's sleep because I'm playing a lot, running Swift a lot in that game. The Eagles have had good success out in LA playing the Rams. It's almost like another home game. So I feel comfortable in that aspect, but I don't think it's going to be like a blowout.
How about this? SoHi Stadium is going to have so many Eagle fans in that place, man. Here's a typical Rams fan, Philly at SoHi. What's going on over there? What is that football? What is that? Is that football? Dude,
I got my little
going to blow that place apart.
Drink. Yeah, they're gonna be sipping on their tofu fruity drink. Whatever the hell they eat, I don't know what they do over there.
Oh no, they eat tofu, finger food too, and they got the wieners with the little like toothpicks, right? I mean, just like San Francisco too. When you have wine and cheese that you could be served at a ball game, that's a game I'm not going to because I'm not sure I'm in the right bar.
Right, exactly.
Hey, dude, if a guy comes over and he's got one of these, right? And he's got like finger food and cheese and wine, I'm not sure I'm in the right bar.
Right. I get it.
Is Christian McCaffrey the MVP?
Oh, wow. He very well could be the way he's playing. I would probably say, yeah, right at this point. I mean, it's very hard this early on to say, but
first month of the season, though, he's
been fantastic. I mean,
hey, man,
huge numbers.
I think he's going to get 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing again.
Yeah, he might. I mean, he looks really, really good. I mean, 49ers look good so far this year. And as much as I hate them, I'm rooting for them this weekend. Do your job. Go out and
they're going
run
to
for
kill
200
Dallas.
yards. I can't wait. I can't wait. Everybody's like, why are you rooting for Dallas? San Francisco's more of a threat. I'm like, look, you start off with your division. Knock everybody off your division. Then you focus on your conference. So, I think that's a tough game for Dallas. I think the Eagles win this week. I think we get to 5-0. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think that they'll win. The one thing I can say about the Eagles is they're 4-0. They hasn't been all smooth, but they're winning tough games. They're finding ways to win, and I think that builds something going forward. We forget last year we were blowing teams out in the first half, but the second half we almost blowing these leads every week. It was like, oh my God, wait a second, fourth quarter. You know what I mean? What the hell's going on here? We're in a game all of a sudden. So it's never always going to be perfectly smooth, is what I'm trying to say. But you can stack up those wins. I think that's what's most important.
Brock Purdy is out playing Jalen so far.
Yeah, we'll see. I really thought I'm not big on Purdy.
You're not buying it.
I'm not buying him yet.
He's leading the NFL in completion percentage. He hasn't lost a regular season game since he started.
49ers look good so far, but we'll see. We'll see. It's only week 4. I got to introduce.
How long are you guys going to keep hanging on that? It's a month into the year. I mean, it's the first quarter pole of the season. What do you want? 8 games?
Well, here's how I see it. If you got your first 4 games, your next 4 games you should be a little bit better, and then a little bit better. If it's December, okay, but I'm not. We played 1 game in October. What am I going to do? Give the guy a trophy? You know what I mean? The only team that wins the Super Bowl this early in the season is Dallas. They're the only team that. I mean, I've never seen a team they beat. This team literally thinks that, hey, we beat the Patriots by this many points, and you beat them by less, so therefore we're better than you. That's how they think. They're insane, okay? But they forget totally that the Arizona Cardinals ran for over 200 yards on them, and the Eagles are a much better running team.
I cannot get that taste out of my mouth when I bring
I love that
that up either, man.
I eat that up all day. I could watch that game over and over and over and over again. It was a beautiful game.
A month into the year, we're 4-0. What's the issue? Thanks, LJ. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I mean, we're 4-0. We're undefeated. There's only 2 undefeated teams right now, So, the Washington game did not surprise me. Washington gives
great
us
coaches.
Problems. But they always seem to, they're just some teams that give you problems. For whatever reason, they always give us a tough game, especially at home. So that doesn't surprise me. I thought they played, well against Tampa. I thought Jalen had his best game, versus Washington. And I thought the referee stunk. I mean, they called the taunting where on AJ Brown, I thought was horrible. They called it was like everything was on us. It was horrible.
The tush push or the brotherly shove thing where they called them for like offsides. Half the Washington D line was offsides.
They're lined up over the ball.
I mean, saw that.
It's crazy.
So that's how you're going to legislate it? You're going to rig the game?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you watch that Jets, do you see that Jets game with Chiefs? You see the holding on that play? I don't know how that's anymore. It don't get any worse than that. Like, how do you miss that call? Really? Like. So who knows?
Finally here, dude, do we agree? Are we on the same page here that the New York Giants made a $160 million disastrous move? And if you're the Eagles, you're celebrating this because they're chained to that guy for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah. I think we can agree on that, and I love every second of it. Let me tell you, I was streaming that game last night. And I had the Giant fans tried to take it out on me because they were getting their asses handed to them. It was a wonderful classic thing. I mean, that team truly stinks. And they got Miami at Miami. They got Buffalo at Buffalo and Washington. That's their next 3 games. They're done. They're done. Put a fork in them. I love it. I hate the Giants.
Give me a quick score here before we let you go here for Rams and Eagles.
Rams, Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to have. I think they're going to have their best offensive performance. I think they're going to win 34-27.
Ooh, good game. Close
Yeah,
one.
high
High
scoring
scoring
game.
too.
I
Because
think
the
so.
Rams are
Yeah.
going to put points on the board.
Yeah, I expect them to. I think this is another DeAndre. If the Eagles choose to use them, here's the thing. This is my biggest thing. I don't understand why they use Swift the way they do. Like, okay, you don't want to give him too many carries. You want to keep him healthy. I get it, but why are you going 3-4 series where he's not in the game? Like, I understand you take him in, take him out, but it's a 3rd and a 1. Put him in the game. Then you could take him back out. But like the way that they use him, where it's like he's gone for a whole series of the games. And it's like, I don't get it. 2 minutes left. He's out of the game and Gainwell's in there. And I'm going, nobody's scared of Gainwell. This is your threat. I think once they acknowledge that Swift is a game changer on their offense, I think everything will fall.
He's their McCaffrey.
I think so. And I know that they're worried about injuries, but why do you go so long between snaps? Like, give Gainwell some snaps, but on certain plays, put Swift in just to keep a threat out there for the defense. Because I really think that when Gainwell's in the game, I think Washington's saying, we don't have to worry about the play action. We don't have to worry about anything. It's Gainwell. But when Swift's out there, you got to worry about him. They missed him on that route. He was wide open. He got held, and they call home. But, I mean, if that's a better pass, it's a touchdown. This guy's all over the field. I think Swift on offense is their MVP right now. I do.
He is. He's definitely. Hey, by the way, real quick on the draft, I know that you were a fan of Devin Witherspoon. That kid, dude, he's a ball player, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the two best players out of that draft so far, 3 maybe. CJ Stroud looks like he's like a real good-looking ball player too. Jalen Carter, and man, this kid Witherspoon last night, he looked like Cam Chancellor running around.
He's a corner. He had 2 sacks, then a pick 6. I knew that pick 6 was coming because Giants run the same route. They like 3 routes that they run. I said somebody's going to jump it. He did. That kid's good. I like him better than Christian Gonzalez. Huh?
3 routes.
3
routes disguised with 20 different formations.
It's the same thing.
You're right.
And I was like saying somebody should. I was like, somebody should jump that route. Somebody should get because it's the same. And the very next play they jumped it. And I was like, Belichick, of course, was going to pick up on it, but that kid is good. I like him better than Christian Gonzalez, to be honest with you. I think he's more physical, like all around corner. He's a hell of a player.
He's another guy that's been playing really great. How about Geno? I mean, you know what? You got to admit it. Here's a guy that was dead in the water. He kind of was hanging around on the last respirator, of his career. Nobody thought anything. And then Pete Carroll grabs him, and now has turned him into a $30-some-odd million guy. He's winning a ton of ball games. Seattle looks like, they're a good-looking football team. They've done some great things on defense. They get after the ball. I mean, I got to tell you, man, there's a great coaching clinic by who would have thought that Seattle be in a better place than Denver?
I know, right? What I liked about Geno Smith yesterday was he came back in the game. Like, there's talk in the past about him being a baby on Twitter. And he came back in and he was fired up and he went at the Giants. He got a taunting call because they actually missed a late hit. That was a late hit out of bounds. They didn't call that he got hurt. But that I really gained some respect for him because he came back in. Because, we've heard about him before about, maybe quitting, being a baby, that kind of stuff. So I liked that, what I saw in him.
Jesus, Pete Carroll, 72 years old, man. Guy's running around like he's 22 years old. Like he's chasing skirts. I'm like, this guy.
Right?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell, man? He looks like he's 52. He's running around like he's 22. It's going to be an interesting ball game. Hey, Philly, so real quick, what kind of shit were you giving Giant fans?
Oh, I was just enjoying the game. I was saying that they stink. I was saying Daniel Jones, he ain't worth it. I said the coach is exposed. I was playing some old clips of other Giant content creators saying stuff like, Daniel Jones is going to be better than Dak Prescott, things like that. So I got under their skin, and they had enough. So it was great. It's great following these guys.
If you put Daniel Jones in the open market last year when they gave him that 160, are the Giants the only team to give him the 160?
Probably somebody probably would have done it, right? Somebody would have probably done it. But I really think the big mistake too with them is they paid him money, they got Waller, but they literally got no help on the outside. Like Waller to me is a great complementary piece. If you have like a why didn't they go out and get DeAndre Hopkins or somebody like that for Daniel Jones? Not that Daniel Jones is that great, but I mean he doesn't have anybody to throw to. He's got no offensive line. I think the Giants are done, and I love it. I love it. I love when the Giants stink. It's a great thing.
Do you think Barkley's sandbagging?
No, I don't think.
Why would you go back into a huddle where they don't want you, they don't want to pay you, they tried trading you, and they bullshitted you?
Yeah,
you're telling me that you would go back into work with all those intangibles when you didn't have to, and you would give 100% if you knew that as soon as they gave him that mini little extension, they tried dealing him to Miami. And so when he found that out, they're like, holy Christ, they were going to deal me anyway. The Giants didn't like what the package was. Yeah. And so now, if you're on the sidelines, aren't you doing this? Yeah, I'm only 99.9%. I'm not ready to go back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. Barkley always comes off like the ultra competitive guy that wants to be out there, and really, why you treat I mean, literally, they're nothing without Barkley. They've got nothing without him.
So they paid the wrong guy. They got two guys they paid wrong. The tight end.
Yeah.
The tight end and the quarterback, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, to me, I thought when DeAndre Hopkins was available, I really thought the Giants were going to make an effort. Because to me, if you had a DeAndre Hopkins, I think that helps you with Waller. But when Waller's your main guy, you're not going to – I mean, he's got nobody – he can't – there's nobody open. They stink. They just stink. I think it's going to be – I think that Barkley, if he's not thinking that way, he's probably thinking about it now. I think that team quits another couple losses. It's going to get ugly in New York. It's going to get ugly there. I just don't want them to get the number 1 pick overall. That's what we don't want.
No, don't worry. That'll be at the hands of the Bears.
Yeah. Talk about another.
Do you think team. Last one, I promise. I love talking sports with you.
No, you could. I'm fine.
Hey, man, do you think they move off of the quarterback in Chicago?
I think they might, yeah. Especially if they get the first pick overall. I do.
You think Kyler Murray and Justin Fields could be moved in the offseason?
Yeah, I think so. I think with Gannon, anything's possible. And with Fields, I mean, in Chicago's mind and in their front office mind, they believe that they went out there and put talent around him. Like they believe that they went out and they got him his pieces. I mean, that's all we heard about this whole season was they made all these moves that he's got weapons like Jalen Hurts now. So if they really believe that and they get the first round pick, they're gonna move off him. Absolutely, I think so.
Breaking news: Eagles signed cornerback Bradley Roby after workout.
Oh, yeah. I think he's 48 or 49.
Holy cow, man.
Well, I mean,
AARP, isn't he?
Yeah, he's older, but I mean, I don't mind it. You need the help.
You need some experience back there.
Yeah, you need it. I still think the play is first. I think they're going to trade for safety. I would be really shocked if they don't make a move for safety.
So this guy's 41 years old with 11 INTs and 3 TDs. He's actually 31.
Oh, okay.
No, he's 30. He's 30. He's 31 years old, man.
Well, he might have a year or two left. I mean, he can play in the slot. So I think that's going to help him. I think they had to do something. 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 I think they had to do I don't think it's a bad move. I don't, it's not like I'm super excited about it, but it's like, all right, well, yeah, you had to do something.
I guess so, man. You signed a guy on AARP, man. Holy shit, this guy, he'll be teething in another year.
I thought you had me. I thought he was really 41 for a second.
Because the guy's got 11 picks and 40 years of football. Okay, I'm a little depth there. We're all good. Philly,
Right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You got it. Our good friend, Philly.500. Final hour of the program. Hit the like button. We'll all reset here. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Football and Hooters, the perfect